Hello, my name is Christina. I love to salvage, repurpose, and create and help others to do the same. Do you have a basement that hides some of your secret projects that were epic fails? Well, why are you still keeping them in the basement? Are you hoping like they're gonna get better? Because they're just not. Now is the time to either pitch them or paint them. So today I have two little end tables that were pretty much epic fails for me that I'm going to make over. If you like this video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to click the bell because it will let you know every time I upload a brand new video. Thanks so much for helping me to grow my channel.
This first table was my first attempt at paint pour, and for whatever reason, I just could not get the paint to pour correctly on this table, and I hated how it turned out. The second table looks really good in the pictures, but I tried to decoupage a super thick map, and it didn't stick. It was a hot mess. There were bubbles, and no matter what I did, all the tricks I tried, I just could not get this poor little table to work with this map. My plan was one day to pour epoxy resin over the top, but I'd have to build a frame, and frankly, I don't have time for it, so it's time for an overhaul. The first step for both of these little tables is a good sanding. So I pulled out my orbital sander and 100 grit sandpaper. I also got out my mask because I had lots of layers of paint pour to sand off. I sanded until I got it smooth. Next, I turned my attention to sanding off the map. This was a chore, but I figured if I could rough it up pretty good, I'd be able to paint my base coat. For my base coat of both of these pieces, I'm using DIY paint in White Swan. DIY paint is a clay-based, all-natural, water-based paint that comes in a wide range of colors with little to no prep. Just paint and go. The paint took about 20 minutes to dry. When it dried on the table that used to have the map, I noticed some bubbling in the areas where the old map was still giving me a hard time. All I did was sand it down and repaint it and did not have any more problems. Now it was time to paint the map table, and I decided I really liked the blue color, but this time I was going to be using Bohemian Blue from DIY Paint. For both of these tables, I really wanted to try out some of the new JRV Decoupage paper. JRV Decoupage paper is larger than most other decoupage paper. It is 30 inches by 20 inches per sheet on 18-pound paper. For this project, I am using the paper called Poulet, the rooster paper. The medium I like to use when I'm decoupaging is DIY Paint Crystal Clear Chandelier. This is the secret sauce for decoupage. Next, lay down your paper as smooth as you can. To easily trim the paper, get yourself some water and a paintbrush, and all you do is paint on a little water and then carefully pull away to create a natural edge. Then apply another coat of Crystal Clear Chandelier. If you pounce your brush, you will get out more of the wrinkles. While everything was drying, I started on the second table. I chose the teal damask JRV decoupage paper for this project. I decided to cut the decoupage paper ahead of time. In order to find the right size, I just folded it down and I made a fold where the edges were so I could easily cut the paper. I applied my decoupage using Crystal Clear Chandelier just like I did with the other table. When the Crystal Clear Chandelier dries, you want to apply another coat or two. If you still have some areas of paper that didn't trim evenly, all you have to do once you've applied your Crystal Clear Chandelier on the top and it's dried is just sand it back. I'm using 220 grit sandpaper. It's really important as you're sanding to kind of angle your sanding block down so you don't damage what you've already done. The next step is to apply wax. On the rooster table, I decided to apply DIY dark wax straight. I was being a bit of a rebel. For more information on applying wax, you can check out the link to my video on waxes and top coats. Usually when applying dark wax, you put down a coat of clear coat, but I wanted this to be really dark. When you're applying wax to a piece of furniture, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Just get the wax on the piece. I also decided I was going to wipe back right away after applying the wax so it didn't get too dark. There was a surprise added benefit of me wiping back immediately and perhaps not waiting completely for the boho blue to dry. When I wiped back after waxing, I revealed the original color underneath in some spots, and I loved the effect. When waxing with a brush, it's sometimes hard to get into certain areas. For spots like this, I will either use a Q-tip or a rag to get the wax in evenly. The other table I finished with DIY white wax. The best part about DIY wax are the all-natural ingredients, including love. Once I wax my pieces, I like to let them set 24 hours before the next step. The next step is to buff them for a beautiful shine. To buff your pieces of furniture, you can just use a lint-free rag, but that requires a lot of elbow grease. To make things a little bit easier, I highly recommend that you get a good buffing brush. Some of my favorites are made by Paint Pixie, the Buffy and the larger Buff. If you really get into doing a lot of pieces though, my favorite buffing brush right now is the one for my drill attachment. You just put it on your drill and buff away. To purchase any of the products that you saw me using, you can shop my online store at shoptheturnedleg.com, or if you're local, you can shop my booth at Plaza Antiques and Collectibles Mall in Lincoln Park, Michigan.
We're going to get to the big reveal in just a second, but I am so pleased that I have 2 more projects completed and out of my basement. There is no point having items to be fixed just sitting there wasting space and irritating you every time you walk by. I hope this video has inspired you to finish all your projects too. Before I go, I'd like to just ask a favor. If you haven't already done so, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. It helps me to continue to help others to salvage, repurpose, and create.